protests and calls the resulting violence a, quote, man-made, police-perpetuated disaster.
This action, I can't say exactly what started, the escalation. What we know is that demonstrators, water protectors, were intending to pull a truck off of the bridge to unblock the road, as this roadblock was preventing people from traveling freely on a public highway, and it also preventing people from being evacuated with emergency services up that road. So that was kind of the beginning, and then police showed up, and what I saw was the escalation from there. Water cannons for 8 hours straight on Sunday night, as well as rubber bullets, flashbang and concussion grenades shot directly at protesters.
Police say more than 525 people have been arrested in connection with the protests since they began months ago. Now we're going to move now to an unfolding situation in Israel where wildfires continue to burn across central and northern Israel this very hour. And some of them are now coming under control, we can report, thanks to the use of more than a dozen planes in addition to ground crews. Oren Lieberman is outside Jerusalem, and I believe you've got a view of some of the smoke, at least, in the distance there, Oren. Can you bring us up to date with the latest on these forest fires and what kind of threat they pose to communities there?
Absolutely. We're just outside of Jerusalem in a town called Nataf, and this is where firefighting forces are focusing their efforts right now, because this and the area around us is where the fire remains out of control. You can see what it's done to this area. Scorched earth here. The home behind me right here is damaged, as well as the home behind that. The fire coming up the hill that we're standing on, burning anything green, and as you can see here, melting anything plastic on this hill. And although this area is no longer burning, it has spread to the hills around here. We'll show you some video from this area. Again, this area is called Nataf, just outside of Jerusalem. What makes this difficult, especially right now, is that here in Israel, it's supposed to be the rainy season, but there hasn't been a drop of rain in more than 2 weeks. That means it's incredibly dry, and the winds have been incredibly strong the last couple of days. So even the smallest fire spreads quickly. And in the few hours that we've been here, we've seen the fire spreading from one hill to another. We'll take you to some video in northern Israel. This is a town called Zichron Yaakov. This is where 750 families are still evacuated. Some 20 homes there damaged or destroyed by the fire. That fire now under control, but the families not allowed to go back in yet. So these fires spreading quickly. The police chief had warned it may get worse as the winds are expected to stay up over the next few days. No rain in the forecast. As for what caused this yet, that's not where police are focusing their efforts just yet, but they have taken 4 people in for questioning, 4 workers on suspicion they may have started one of these fires out of negligence. So firefighters still working on getting this all under control. Ivan, in fact, we've seen 4 or 5 firefighting aircraft around our area pretty much all day today.
All right, that's Oren Lieberman live from the scene of some of these forest fires that you could see clearly in the distance there. Oren, thank you very much for bringing us up to date, and I know you'll be keeping a close eye on that with your team there. Thank you very, very much. Now, still ahead, from the boss to Miss Ross, the living legends who have just received America's highest civilian award. You won't want to miss this.
Abu Dhabi, at the crossroads of East and West, enticing industries from around the world, embracing technology, ambulance approaching.